Hello and welcome. This lesson is going to be the lesson about system of equations by substitution. So this will be the second method that we learn about how to solve system of equations. Okay, if you remember, system of equations is two or more equations. So this time, instead of having a graph here, we have two equations and we're asked to find the solution for it. Okay, the key strategy in doing system by substitution is to look for an equation that has the letter by itself. And I notice here that the first equation has the x by itself. So therefore, once I identify that, I put a circle around it, and then I go to the next equation, and I put an arrow under the letter that's by itself, which is x. So now I'm going to copy everything except for that x right there. Instead of x, I'm going to put what x equals to. So right there. And now we solve the equation and we find the value of y. So in this case, this would be negative 8y. This would be 96 plus 5y equals 15. Negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3y plus 96 equals 15. We subtract 96 from both sides. So this would be negative 3y, and this would be negative 81. We divide both sides by negative 3. Y equals 27. So that tells me that I have a solution for this system, and there's going to be a point which y coordinate is 27. Now we need to find the x coordinate. So to do that, we go back to the circle that we identified at the beginning. We're going to copy it. And now that I copy it, I plug it in. So this will be negative 4 times 27 plus 24. And you can use your calculator and do all at once. Okay. So let's see here, negative 4 times 27 plus 24 is negative 84. So that is our answer right there. Okay. So that means if I was to graph these two lines right here, that means I would see that these two lines cross, and they cross at the point negative 84, 27. Okay. Let's try the next example. Next example again, we look at it, and we're looking for a letter by itself. Doesn't matter if it's x or y. If you notice the previous problem, the x was alone, so I chose that one. Here I see the y alone, so I'm going to choose that y. The next step is to put an arrow under the letter that's by itself on the other equation. So in this case is y. And then I copy everything except for that letter that's under that has the arrow under it. So basically, instead of y, I'm going to replace it with what it's equal to. Make sure you include a parenthesis. And then you're going to have an equation with only one unknown, which in this case is x. So we're going to have 2x minus 3x minus 15 equals 9. So combine like terms. This will be negative 1x minus 15 equals 9. We add 15 to both sides. This will be negative 1x equals 24. We divide both sides by negative 1. X equals negative 24. Now I'm going to copy the first equation. Basically what happens here is I found the x value. I need to find the y value, so I go back to the circle. I copy that equation. And then I come over here and I plug it in, that value that I found, which is negative 24 plus 5. So this will be y equals negative 19. So negative 19. And there we go. All right, let's go on to the next two examples. These are going to be the special cases. So let's see what happens here. So again, system of equation by substitution. You look for a letter by itself. We see one here. We put a circle. Okay, since there's no space underneath, I'm going to copy down here. Okay. I notice the y is alone, so I put the arrow under the y. So this would be 6x minus 2, parenthesis 3x plus 2 equals 4. I'm going to eliminate parentheses, so this would be 6x minus 6x minus 4 equals 4. 6 minus 6, they cancel, and I'm left with negative 4 equals 4. So if you notice right there, the x disappear. So in other words, I cannot solve for x, and I'm left with this statement. And the question is this a true statement or false statement? Well, negative 4 is not equals to positive 4, so this is a false statement. So whenever you get the false statement, you're going to write no solution. Okay, what that means is that if you were to graph this, you would have those two parallel lines where the lines never touch each other. Okay. Here's our last example. I identify as x as the letter that's by itself. I copy the other equation. I'm going to put the arrow under the x. So this would be 4y plus 2, open parenthesis, negative 2y plus 6 equals 12. I'm going to eliminate parentheses. So this would be 4y minus 4y plus 12 equals 12. In this case, the 4y cancels, and I'm left with a statement. See the letter y disappear. So I'm left with this statement, and this statement happens to be true. Positive 12 is equals to positive 12. So therefore, I will write IMS. In other words, if I was to graph these two lines, I would see that there will be one line on top of the other. Okay? So the answer is IMS. So here we learned the system of equations by substitution. Sometimes you're going to have an answer, one solution, which is a point where the two lines intersect. And sometimes you're going to have the special cases where there's no solution and IMS. All right, I hope this video is helpful, and now you'll be able to practice doing your assignment. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.